So here's where people get confused. If someone says this is like a major interval or a major chord. In this case, we're only talking about intervals. 4 of the intervallic names have the exact same names as the triads: major, minor, diminished, and augmented. The extra one is perfect. But these are not chords. An interval is 2 notes, only 2 notes. In the major scale, from C to D is a major third. C to E is a major third. C to F is a perfect fourth. C to G is a perfect fourth. C to A is a major 6. C to B, major 7. C to C is a perfect octave. So this is a major 7th, a major 3rd, a perfect 4th, a perfect 5th, a major 6th, a major 7th, a perfect octave. An interval is major when the upper note is in the key of the lower note, but the lower note is not in the key of the upper note. Now that's where people get confused. But here's the simple thing. D is in the C scale, but C is not in the D scale. In the key of D, all C's are sharp. So subsequently, if you don't know all your keys, you can't prove it. But one thing does prove it. If it works in one scale, it has to work in all the scales. Because all the major scales go like this. So that means everything has got to be the same. C is the easiest to use because it's the pure scale. It has no sharps and flats. So D is in the C scale, C is not in the D scale, the interval is major. E is in the C scale, C is not in an E scale, all C's are sharp, the interval is major. Now when you do perfect intervals, that means they're in each other's key.
All right.
C to F. F is in the C scale, C is in the F scale. That's perfect. G is in the C scale, C is in the G scale. That's perfect. A is in the C scale, but C is not in the A scale, because in the key of A, all C's are sharp. B is in the C scale, C is not in the B scale, because in the key of B, all C's are sharp. So you've proved it in one scale. That means every major scale you play, no matter what key, the second is always major, the third is major, the fourth and fifth are always perfect. That means they're in each other's keys, major, major. So every major scale has 4 major intervals, 3 perfect intervals. Perfect fourth, perfect fifth, and naturally perfect octave. The next thing is you got to know the distance of all these intervals.
All right.
C to D is a whole step. C to E is 2 whole steps. C to F is 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. When you take those steps, you double them, you get the frets to your instrument. 2 whole step, 2 frets, 2 whole steps, 4 frets, 5 frets, 7 frets, 9 frets, 11 frets.
Okay, so this is where I understand that stuff. The part that I got confused was, like, say if you go from F to F sharp, that's what is that?
That's really an augmented unison.
An augmented unison, and so from F to G is
a major second.
A major second, and so you say major second, following the rules from that theory?
Yeah, because G is in the F scale, but F is not in the G scale.
Right.
In the key of G, all F's are sharp.
Okay, so from F to G sharp would be
an augmented second.
Augmented second, not a minor
third. So here's how this works. No, I'm going to show you why.
Not because a third would have to be an A.
A flat.
It would be A flat.
Then
that's exactly okay.
So let's look at this horizon. This is a major interval. If you raise the top note, it goes augmented. If you lower the major interval top note, it goes to minor. Okay? If you take a perfect interval and you raise it, it goes augmented. If you lower it, it goes diminished. You take the minor interval and lower it, again, it'll go diminished. So that's the moves. If you take a major interval, you raise the top note to E sharp. That would be an augmented third. If you lower the E to E flat, it would be a minor third. If you go E, C to E double flat, that would be a what? A diminished third.
Right.
But it still has to be alphabetically 3. So in other words, you can't say, well, E double flat's the same as D. So can't we just call it a major second? No, because you said E double
spelling,
flat.
Right?
Proper spelling. That's grammar. But it is superfluous to a major second, which means it's the same thing, or inharmonic. Okay?
All right, cool.
You take the F in a perfect interval, you sharp it to F sharp, it's augmented. If you lower it to F flat, it's diminished.
All right.
Now the next thing is inverting intervals. When you flip them over.
All right.
All right? So here's the deal. You always got to add up to 9. We already talked about that. So let's do this. C, D, E, F, G, A. This is the C scale, and we're going to look at some interval inversions. So all major intervals, when inverted, which means turned around, they're going to turn minor. Okay? Because the rule is going to reverse. Perfect intervals when inverted doesn't matter. They'll stay perfect. Minor intervals when inverted will turn back to majors.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. From C to D is a major second. So D to C is going to be a minor seventh. Major interval turns to minor. 7 and 2 is how much? 9. You always got to add it up to 9. And that has to turn into 6 whole steps. The C to C is 6 whole steps.
And when you add these two together,
they'll add up to 6.
This is how you start getting the thirds and the seconds
Yes.
and the sixths, right?
See, a major second is 1 whole step, a minor 7 is 5 whole steps. So 1 and 5 make 6. Alphabetically, they add up to what? 9. Okay, now here's another one. C to E is a major third. So E to C would be a what?
A minor third.
Minor
Oh,
sixth.
minor sixth.
In reverse, right. Major third is 2 whole steps. That means the minor third is 4 whole steps. Because 2 plus 4 must equal 6. Alphabetically, C to E is 3. E to C is 6. 6 and 3 is 9. C to F is a perfect fourth. So F to C is a perfect fifth. They stay perfect. C to B is a major seventh. So B to C is a minor second. Always flips. And
All right,
diminished intervals invert back into augmented intervals, and augmented intervals invert back into diminished intervals.
All right. All right, cool. All right,
That's basically it. Now you should know the distance of all your intervals and know how to play them on the guitar. So look at this. Watch this. Here's a unison. Here's a major second. Major third. Perfect fourth. Perfect fifth. Major sixth. Major seventh. Perfect octave. Now if you do all of the chromatic, this is an augmented. See that right there? That's like a minor second. Or an augmented unison. Minor third. Major third. Perfect fourth. Augmented fourth or diminished fifth. Perfect fifth. Augmented fifth, minor sixth. So that's what you're hearing every interval. See, most people don't realize that. They like do this. That's C to A. It's a major sixth. You don't realize that's 9 frets.
Yeah.
You don't think of it as 9 frets. You think of it as like skip a string back a fret. But that's 9 frets. That's like going to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow.
So if you do this, that's a tenth. Like a blackbird. Tenths are octaves of thirds.
Say that again. Tenths are octaves.
The octave of the third is 10. See? So what happens is you get a compound interval. Compound intervals are intervals in the next octave.
All right.
Like a ninth is a compound interval of a second. A tenth is a compound interval of a third.
And those things. Oh, sorry. When you did that thing,
I did
like
thirds.
like if you did a G and a B, or a G and a D, you know, like the blackbird thing.
Yeah,
Which
G and
one?
D.
Which
G
one?
and B.
Okay. And which one do you consider the name of
G. The bottom note is always the name.
bottom? Always the name,
Yeah,
right?
you always measure interval from the bottom up.
All right. From
Lowest to the highest.
all right.